What's going on, everybody? I'm doing a collaboration with Joel. His channel is called Back in the Day. I know this is a long time coming, but it just took me a while to get over here and record the video. But I just wanted to show you guys where I rented video games at when I was a kid. Now, this is a pretty bad part of town for where I'm from, and that's where I grew up. But this building right here did not look like the building that I rented games from. They tore that old one down and built this nice one. But the original was basically half of this building. So I'm thinking that they just kind of built onto it. This is what it was, and it was a place called Main Street Video, and I would walk all the way from down there, this long stretch, and I would come here with my uncle, I'd come here with my grandma, and there's so many memories I have of just walking all the way down the street with the anticipation of renting a game and hopefully a good one being in to rent. We rented tons of movies from here, tons of video games, and there's just so many memories I have of just walking this street. We live down there on Oregon, which is a side street like 2 blocks down. But I just wanted to show you guys where I used to rent games. I'd rent games like Pit Fighter for the Sega Genesis, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 4, Turtles in Time, Contra 3, Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Mortal Kombat 2. So many awesome games that I remember just renting from here. Anyways, I just wanted to show you guys where I used to rent games and do a little video with my buddy Joel, because he's been waiting for this collab for a while. So I'm gonna switch the camera around, I'll talk to you guys, and then we'll go back to the basement. So since I went out there and took a little video of where I used to rent video games when I was a kid, I thought I'd just kind of show you guys some of the games that I added to my collection over the years from games that I used to rent. And these games mean a lot to me. Some of these games might not be the best, but that's the thing. When you were a kid, you just rented games. I have such sentimental memories with games that weren't that good, because most of the time when you went to rent a game, it was rented out, or you just had to pick something that was in. And one of those games that me and my uncle rented so many times, I can't even begin to think of how many times we rented this game as a kid. We never owned it. A game called Pit Fighter for the Sega Genesis. Now, I know this game gets a terribly bad rap, especially on the Super Nintendo. But you gotta remember, at the time, this looked amazing. These digitized graphics, I mean, it just felt like you were literally playing real life people. It's crazy. The arcade is fantastic of this game, but the Genesis version is very good, and I think it's worth a playthrough. I'm not saying it's the best game in the world, don't get me wrong, but this game, you would be surprised how much fun it is, because there's so many glitches that happen during this game. It's a co-op 2-player, like Kumite style beat 'em up. It is just so funny when all these glitches start happening. You can choose from 3 different characters: Buzz, Kato, and Ty, and they all have their own strengths and weaknesses. But when you get to playing this game with a friend, you can use your hands, your feet, and a ton of different weapons, like barrels. You can pick up motorcycles and throw them at people. It's just insane. This game is so cool. And there's a thing called the power pill, and when you get it, your dude starts glowing and he gets like crazy strong, and you can't take any damage, and you just start wrecking the opponents. This game is really fun if you play it 2-player. And I know it's cheesy as hell, but I don't know, man. Something about this game, me and my uncle rented all the time over and over, and we really enjoyed it. So yeah, Pit Fighter. Another game we rented nonstop: Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 4, Turtles in Time. I mean, is this game just not a bona fide classic by now? Everybody's played it. Everybody's talked as much as they can about it. Turtles at the time was just huge for us, and I just remember playing this nonstop. We rented this so many times, beat it so many times. This game is so fun, and it brings Turtles into your house, and when you were a kid, that's all you wanted to do, was just play this game over and over. You wanted to be your favorite turtle, and they all have different strengths and weaknesses. The levels are fantastic. The action is awesome. The graphics are great, and the music is phenomenal. I mean, what else do I have to say about it? It's Turtles in Time. We used to rent this nonstop also. And the last game that I'll talk about is a game we rented nonstop also, because we loved the original games, but when it came out on the Super Nintendo, it completely blew us away, and that's Contra 3: The Alien Wars. In my opinion, this is probably the best in the series, in my opinion. There is a really, really good one for the Switch that just came out, but for nostalgic purposes, I think this game is just absolutely phenomenal. How do you get better than Contra and Super C? Well, you create Contra 3: The Alien Wars. Such a cool game, so fun to play co-op. Different difficulties make this game extremely replayable. The awesome bosses, awesome levels, and the graphics are phenomenal, and the music is just great. I mean, what are we doing here? You guys know this game's fantastic. Who didn't rent this game, right? Like, very few times we went to rent it, it was in. But when it was, we would get it over games that we hadn't even played before because we knew how stunningly awesome this game was. I'll never forget this game, and I just remember walking back to the house with this game and just thinking, like, for the 100th time we're gonna get to have a kick-ass time playing this. Contra 3: The Alien Wars, man, such a great game and one of my favorites for the Super Nintendo. And with those out of the way, I'm gonna send it over to Joel because he has his own specific list of games that he rented from his mom and pop rental store. So take it away, Joel.
All right, guys, what is going on? Joel here. Back in the day, we are in Waterloo, New York. I used to live here, grew up in this town. Obviously, my buddy Sean is uploading this for the themed video that he wanted to collab on, which is mom and pop rental places. So like I said, D&M Grocery, this was the place that I used to rent from because I lived it was like a 10-minute walk from here, down over on Chestnut Street, down that way. So the store has changed a lot. I haven't been here in years. I think it's the first time I've walked in since 1999. So let's go in and I'm going to show you where the games and stuff were. So follow me. My good buddy Tim from high school is recording. Say hello, Tim.
Hello.
Okay, yeah, so when we first came in, this was where all the games were. There was a big shelf. This place has changed so much. Now it's ice cream. And then at one point it was also over here. So this was where so many iconic games were rented. Ninja Gate, Mega Man, Mega Man 2, DuckTales, God, Maniac Mansion. I must have rented Maniac Mansion half a dozen times summer 1991. So this was literally, this was the place to come, and I'm glad that it's still in business. Such an iconic place here in Waterloo. I want to thank you guys so much for taking this trip with me. Sean, thank you so much for asking me to do this. If I happen to think of any more places, I'll try to get a little bit more footage. But until then, I'll catch you guys later.
Well, there you go, guys. Just want to say a special thank you to Joel for sending me over the footage so I could edit it and get it into the video. I know it was a long time coming, but I appreciate him being extremely patient with me and getting the video out. But yeah, dude, that's just awesome mom and pop shop video game memories for you guys. If you have any, leave them in the comment section below. And like I say before I end every video, we all can't help everybody, but everybody can help somebody. Peace out, y'all.